I'm going to talk, it's kind of bringing us back to what we were discussing earlier this morning about compost and mulch and local opportunities to do more on that account. So I'm going to share more with you about that. So first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about the challenge for the region of how these state targets and regulations will affect us. And we'll talk about opportunities that are already existing that we've been taking advantage of, as well as opportunities for new partnerships, some tools and outreach for each of the cities that are here today and their partners to expand that, and some tools to do that. And we'll talk about some local examples of what's happening on the ground. And I guess we'll get to questions after this. So I think everybody's pretty aware, but if you're not, recycling is all about what can you make of the products that are collected. And so in order to have a healthy and profitable and long-term processing facilities, we need to be buying what it is that we process. And in the case of organic materials, that's compost, mulch, and renewable energies from those. Looking at what our targets are for the region, they're substantial. You can look at our population, which is about a little more than 3.3 million folks in the region. The state's formula for per capita procurement is 0.08 tons per person. That works out to be 268,000 tons of compost and mulch or other materials. We can use conversion factors. If it's mulch and you're just purchasing one material type only, that's 268,000 tons. If it's compost, that reduces down because you get credit for that material and the volume that's reduced in processing. So 156,000 tons. And there's other options there for renewable energies. However, there's limited supplies of those in San Diego County. So for the time being, compost and mulch is where we're going to need to purchase to hit our targets. So as looking forward to this, in years before SB 1383 hit, the county, in collaboration with some of our consultant partners, Hidden Resources, did an analysis of those users and producers of organic materials and compost and mulch specifically, and looked at what the market opportunities were. So this data was done in 2018-19. You heard some about it earlier, so I won't go into great detail, but 1.5 million tons of organics that need to get out of the landfill to meet the state regulations, and 3 to 4 million cubic yards of materials that will end up as products for us. And you heard about agriculture as a big opportunity. We'll talk more about that, but real opportunities in dealing with uses in landscaping, water quality, erosion control, all those areas, potentially going from 600,000 cubic yards per year to 1.5 million cubic yards. So real opportunities, and we'll go through some examples of how that's been done in San Diego in just a little bit. For all cities and counties, individually, you have to think about how your operations are using these materials or have the potential to, and I'll go into that more in another slide. But at this one, I think it's helpful to think about all the other partners in the region that'll help you to do this. And so there's multiple jurisdictions, cities and counties that are working together. We've been doing some road shows for planning agencies like the Regional Planning Agency at Sandag, for executive associations like the San Diego Landscape Society and their landscape architects groups. But there's so many more that you can work with through here. We've been really fortunate that we have very knowledgeable members of the compost and mulch industry, many folks with their PhDs that are able to tell us about the soil science, like you heard earlier from Mary Matava. But there's lots of others that we need to tap into. So all of this, I think, when we're thinking about this, it's more of forging how your team looks. And the good news is that there's many of us that want to help on this accord. So from the county standpoint, we have formed our own SB 1383 working group. And so we're meeting monthly to talk about opportunities to look at the tracking of what we've purchased, where the target is and where we need to go. And bring in Public Works, Park and Recreation, all the folks from our water and wastewater and the waste side as well. So lots of folks to coordinate with. These meetings, we also do a lot of trainings and provide resources. And of course, tracking the materials that are produced are really important. And I'll go through some of these resources really quickly. One is through our purchasing and contracting department. We've made a policy so that any new contracts will include automatically that if they're purchasing compost and mulch, they meet the state standards. And we're actually able to modify existing contracts so that if they're purchasing it, will meet those state standards too and work toward our state goals. For resources for all those that are in individual departments, give them the tip sheets on how to apply materials for the uses that they need them, how you can use it in a ball field, how you can use it in a median, so that they can spec out the materials that they need and to be able to use that. In that process, we've also started work on a procurement a tool, a purchasing agreement that will be used for compost and mulch and compost socks and blankets and all the rest, so that it's easy for those departments to just go ahead and purchase it. They don't have to go through the longer purchasing process. So any of these ways that we can reduce the barrier, make it easy to do the right thing, that's what we're working on. And hopefully we can share those resources with the rest of the jurisdictions here as well. Some other examples for those that you work with that may not already know how to use compost and mulch. There's some great toolboxes and tool sheets out there. The San Diego Sustainable Landscapes Guidelines has all the information, both from a personal level as well as can be used for contractors and others. I encourage everybody to take a look at that. And my presentation will be available after this, and it's got links to all of these resources so you can share with those that you need to in your departments. Landscape certification, Rescape California is doing some excellent work. They're actually certifying landscapers that have taken their trainings and become certified, so that you know that they're going to be using the right materials and also reducing waste from their practices. And there's links here to toolboxes for videos and training programs from Caltrans and CalRecycle that are excellent. Okay, so when you're talking with the various folks that you might talk to in Park and Recreation or your facilities, you need to give them some examples of what to purchase. And so on this sheet just shows you some examples of compost socks to protect water quality, erosion control, really dramatic when you see the difference between a compost berm and compost socks and straw wattles. The performance is really superior. And then use on construction projects and other options. As the part of the Integrated Waste Management Technical Advisory Committee, we've done some tours in collaboration with one of our contractors, EcoLogic, to show what's happening here on the ground. The Blue Line trolley was a great example. We did a tour in 2021. City Council people were there, other elected officials, lots of representatives from construction companies. Get out there, press the flesh, tell people what the benefits are, and let them kick the tires a little bit. And that's exactly what this project did. Give recognition to Mid-Coast transit constructors that did the excellent work there. But you can also share this video if you'd like with people on your teams or partners as well. And you heard from Mary Matava today. I'll just make another plug. They did an excellent a demo day out for agriculture to showcase farmers, and you heard from a farmer today too. But these type of events, we're partnering with resource conservation districts, the local producers, the UC Cooperative Extension, and if you can get lucky enough to get together with the flower fields, then all the better to everybody involved. For jurisdictions that are looking to educate the public, giving away materials is a great way to get people excited. If you can get an elected official out there to throw a couple shovelfuls of material, all the better. The county has received $200,000 in grant funding, and we're going to be doing giveaways to the public, to community gardens, to school gardens in the unincorporated areas to help stimulate that knowledge and also just experience with the materials. We're working on that for the next 2 years. So if you know an unincorporated area school or a community garden, have them contact us and we can get them free materials. And lots of opportunities there to do more, because these materials are really valuable, and getting them into use is when you really see the benefits. And two final slides I'll just share really quickly is, you heard so much about the city's work on their climate action plan. Using compost and mulch to actually sequester carbon into the soil is a major opportunity for expanding the use of compost and mulch. There's some great work that's happened at the state level, the California Healthy Soils program, as well as at the Marine Carbon Project. but there's more that's going to be happening here locally. Our planning department is doing a pilot project on carbon farming, and so we're looking forward to that being a springboard to greater use in this area too. And lastly, an opportunity that we see connecting back to our compost and mulch market study is the compost and mulch design competition. In our collaboration with the Landscape Society and architects there, their executive team sees the connection to climate. They see the connection of compost and mulch to water quality, to soil nutrient improvements, healthy soils, et cetera. And so the idea behind this competition is to engage those professionals, get them trained, promote the use of the compost and mulch toolbox, use that as an opportunity for young people in that industry as well as experienced old hands to get credit for that and to put those projects on the ground in San Diego County so local people and local professionals can see it too. And we're looking forward to partners. So if anyone's interested in that and you'd like to participate, please let us know and we can connect you to that larger group. And with that, I will wrap up and just say thank you for your time and a lot more to be done in the sector, but there's a lot of momentum, so appreciate it. Thank you.